Hi everybody and welcome back to Stitched Up. My name's Rachel and I firstly wanted to start by wishing you all a very happy new year. Can't believe it's 2018 already. I hope you've all had a wonderful Christmas. Mine has been very peaceful and very quiet with my family, but I've had a really lovely time. So I wanted to start by saying that back in November in my last vlog I mentioned some of the makes I was going to be making, so this video is going to be all about what I actually managed to get through. I had a really hectic November and December and didn't manage to get through everything that I originally said that I planned to make. However, I did make a couple of additional things in December that weren't in my previous vlog, so I'm going to show those today as well. So to start with, I was in my last vlog going to mention that I was making my Christmas party dress. I can't remember exactly which pattern it was. It was a Vogue vintage pattern. I will put a link to it down below and I will put a picture up here to show you me wearing it. But I've got the dress here and I will show you. Here we go. Let's just see if that's going to focus. So basically this dress was made out of a flocked taffeta fabric. It's fully aligned inside and it's got a it's like a yoke here with bust pleats in just to fit the bust, and then it's fitted around the waist and with a full pleated skirt. Okay, it's, as I say, it's fully lined inside and it also has a waist stay. This dress was fairly okay to make. I wouldn't say if you were a beginner it would be a good option to choose, mainly because the fastening at the front is buttons, and I think in total, because I had to lengthen it due to my height, I had to put in about an extra couple of buttons, and all of the, is that just going to focus? Okay, so all of the buttons down the front are bound buttonholes. I don't know if you can see the buttons there. I got these buttons from Minerva Crafts and they go with the dress. I think they go with the dress really well, so I was really happy with that. But I didn't find the bound buttonholes easy to do. Now, oh, I've got out of focus, there we go. So I do think, I mean, I've done bound buttonholes before, but I'm certainly not an expert at it, and I did find them quite difficult in this fabric. Don't know whether it was just because of the fabric, but trying to get them even either side of the button was not easy at all. So yeah, it took a bit of time to get all the buttonholes right. I still don't think they look great, but fortunately because of the fabric I think I can get away with it. I bought myself a petticoat to wear underneath and on the night I felt like $1 million. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. So I also said back in November that I was going to make the Alex shirt dress out of that gorgeous fabric that I got from Stitchy Bee. Didn't get around to that unfortunately, but what I did make instead was the Seamwork Nina dress. I'll put a picture of that up here and a description of it in the comments down below, so you can go to that if you want. If you've not heard of Seamwork before, it's run by Colette Patterns based over in America, I think it's America, and Seamwork is a monthly subscription that you can subscribe to. I think it's about $8 a month, something like that. And every month they release 1 or 2 digital patterns that you can download, and you build up credits each month, and you can either save the credits. If you don't use them that month you can save them for further months, but you can also use the credits to purchase Colette patterns as well. Well, Nina is actually a pattern from last year, but I didn't actually see that many people made it up last year, but it seems to be doing the rounds a bit more this year. And this time of year, I don't know about you, I'm living in the UK, it's really cold, it's really wet today and miserable, and I'm always feeling the cold, and yeah, I just want to wrap up in really warm snuggly jumpers, etc. So the Nina pattern I made first off into a dress, which is here. It's really long. Okay, gosh, it's longer than my ceiling. Okay, so it's a roll neck jumper dress base essentially, and again, as I say, I'll put a picture of me wearing it so you can see. And this is some fabric that I had in my stash. It's like a Marl Effect aubergine maroony colour fabric with a lovely roll neck. It is super soft and gorgeous to wear. This pattern was really easy to follow. I did find the sizing a little bit on the large side. I don't know whether that is because I've recently lost quite a lot of weight and I'm still thinking that I'm bigger than what I am, so I ended up having to take this dress in a fair bit, but it is so warm and snuggly and it's exactly the kind of thing that I want to be wearing this time of year. Loved it so much that I actually then made another one in a jumper version, which is what I'm wearing now. So with this one I made 3/4 length sleeves, and this is essentially just, I've used my twin needle on the hem around the sleeves and also around the hem around the body. Don't know if you can see that. And this is just some grey sweater knit that I purchased from eBay, from a seller on eBay. It's basically a cotton interlock fabric, and again it's really soft, gorgeous. I actually cut out the size smaller than I did the dress when I made this version, and I think this fits me much better. You can see it just, yeah, it fits me really well, so I'm quite happy with that. So the next thing I have to show you guys is the Schnittchen Sylvia Coatigan, however you pronounce it. Basically Seamwork in last month, December, brought out a Coatigan called the Gelcoat. I absolutely loved this Coatigan, and because I'm already a subscriber to Seamwork, I thought, well, yeah, download it and I can make it. I ordered some gorgeous leopard print fabric from Sewalicious. I'll put a link to them down below. I'll show you the fabric here. And basically I ordered 2 meters of this fabric and it's gorgeous. But unfortunately the Gelcoat just it seems to be really fabric hungry. I didn't have enough to do it, so I purchased the Sylvia Coatigan. Have I got that right? The Gelcoat, yeah. The Gelcoat is the Seamwork one, which I didn't have enough fabric for, and the Schnittchen Sylvia Coatigan I did have enough fabric for, so I downloaded that pattern and yep, I made that up. I'll put a picture of me wearing it here so you can have a look. This pattern was really good, but the only difficulty with it is, with Schnittchen patterns, is that they don't have any photos. So if you're quite new to sewing or a beginner, I really would recommend that you get a few more items under your belt before you actually tackle something like this. Schnittchen do have a tutorial on their website, which I did use for a couple of the steps. There was a couple of the steps that I found a little bit awkward, which included how you attach the lining, again a bit like the cocoa jacket earlier, but I did get there in the end and I'm really pleased with how this has turned out. I've worn it a lot over the last couple of weeks. I lined it just with a grey cotton that I'd got in my stash. I'm sure I'll make it again. The only thing I wish I'd done differently, the inside of the pockets, I wish I'd done the actual pocket flap with a little bit of the leopard print before the actual grey, because it does sort of show a little bit. So if I do it again, I think I'll just adapt the pocket piece so that the top little bit of the pocket piece will be in the fashion fabric and the rest of the inside of the pocket will be the lining fabric, so that it doesn't flip out and show. But otherwise I'm really pleased how this has turned out. Okay, so the second to last thing that I made in December was the Sewhouse 7 tea house dress. I took part in, well, I took advantage of the Black Friday sales and purchased quite a number of patterns back then, including this one. I'll put a link to Sewhouse 7 down below and I'll put a picture of the dress just up here so you can see it. But again, I think I made this dress in probably about 3 hours. That was from printing off the pattern, cutting it out, cutting the the actual fabric out and then sewing it together. It went together like an absolute dream. Again, I know this pattern is supposed to be oversized a little bit, I think, but I did find for me it was just a little bit big. But it's got ties around the waist so you can adjust it to fit you, so there's very little fitting involved. This fabric that I used for this dress I purchased from Boys, which is like it's quite a cheap sort of shop in the UK. I think they have the shops all over the UK. It's a bit hit and miss, but sometimes they do have some nice fabric in, and I visited York in early December and found this fabric in there, which is like it's like a chambray, and basically it's absolutely gorgeous. So excuse the creases in this. It does need a good iron, but basically this is the fabric, and I think this cost me £3 a metre, something like that. Yeah, it really needs a good iron, and I think it's fantastic. Yeah, it's not really a winter make as such, but I've worn it with a black polo neck jumper underneath, which works really well for this time of year, and tights and boots. And I think it'll be great for spring as well, with little flat pumps or sandals in the summer. So it's quite versatile actually. So yeah, really happy with that. I also purchased the Burnhouse bibs pattern at the same time. I haven't made those yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. The drafting was spot on. I didn't need to alter the pattern, which is great, because with the yoke at the front here, how that attaches, I was a little bit concerned about how I'd be able to alter the length of it, but I didn't need to. I found that I didn't need to. The pockets on this were an absolute dream to sew. When I looked at the construction, I was a little bit unsure about how they would work and whether I would manage to get them equal on each side, but the instructions are so good. The instructions are so good that it works out really well. Okay, and finally in December, the final thing that I made, I decided, I've never taken part in any of the Instagram challenges before, but I decided this year that I was going to, and I took part in the Little Red Dress project that was run by Rosabella Angelica and, oh gosh, I can't remember her name, Running in Style, Renata, I'm so sorry if you're watching this. I will put a link to both those lovely ladies down below, but basically it was about you could make absolutely anything as long as it was red, and it could be a really nice party dress or just something really casual, whatever you wanted really, but just out of any shade of red or pink fabric. And with Christmas coming up, but also red isn't a colour that I normally wear, and I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to just try something new, expand the colour of my wardrobe a little bit, and see how things went. So I'll show you the dress here. Okay, so this is my dress that I made, and you can see that. Okay, that's the back. So this is some lightweight cotton sateen I got from eBay, and I made a combination of the By Hand London Kim bodice with the By Hand London Flora skirt. So it's got the high-low hem, if you can see that there. Okay, I'll put a picture of me wearing it up here so you can have a look, and it worked really well. It's got an invisible zipper at the back, and I'm really quite pleased with how that zipper went in. I think it's more or less pretty perfect, which sometimes I struggle with invisible zippers. It's fully lined, the bodice is fully lined, the skirt isn't, and yeah, it went really well. So I'm really happy with how that dress turned out. I wore it Christmas Eve, went to a family get-together on Christmas Eve, and I felt great in it. So yeah, so that was my entry for the Little Red Dress project. And finally, the last thing I've got to show you today is the Tilly and the Buttons Cleo pinafore dress. I'll put a picture of me wearing it up here, and I'll put a link to it down below in the description box. Now, I'm sure you guys have seen this before. There are absolutely billions of them out there on the internet and on Instagram. Loads of people seem to be wearing this dress. This is the second one that I've actually made. I made a teal one a few months ago, which now is a little bit too big for me, so I'm going to have to take it in. And the mustard cord that I bought, that I showed you in my last vlog, I've made it up in a couple of sizes smaller this time, and it fits me perfectly. It's a fairly straightforward pattern to make. It's the first time I've ever used jean buttons on an item of clothing, so they were straightforward, so I didn't have any difficulties there. And yeah, the only thing about this is, you know, I'm in my early 40s and I'm really not sure that I can carry this style off anymore. It's great for hanging around the house in, and you know, wearing with tights, that kind of thing, and I do feel really snugly warm in it. I'm wearing it in this picture with my Agnes top. I think the Agnes, again, it's a Tilly and the Buttons pattern. I will link it down below. I love the Agnes top. I think it's a great little basic that works really well with the Cleo dress, and I'm sure I'm going to make loads more of those. There's lots of variations that you can do with that as well. You can either make it 3/4 length sleeves, or you can have a ruche neckline, etc. The one that I'm wearing, I did do the ruche neckline, and I really like it. And I think it goes really, really well with the Cleo dress. But as I say, I'm really not sure that I can carry off the Cleo anymore when, you know, I'm in my 40s. So, hey ho. That's it then. So that's it from me today, guys. So now that Christmas is over and we're into the new year, I'm going to be doing another vlog shortly on my latest fabric haul that I've just purchased. There's an awful lot of fabrics that's just added to my stash, and yeah, I'm really going to have to look at my stash and sort it out because it's just massive. But yeah, there's going to be another vlog coming up soon about the latest fabrics that I've got and my pattern plans, etc. So hopefully I'm going to have that out later this week. But if you like what you've seen, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe below. If you want to find me on Instagram, I tend to post on there usually weekly, and my name is, well, I'll put my name, a link on the picture here so that you can actually see, and you can check me out over there. But yeah, that's it from me today, guys. So take care, and I'll speak to you all soon. Okay, bye.